Aloha, friends and neighbors. This is Rollin Frost, Kona Astrologer. I'm about to do program 1068 for you in the year of 2017. An interesting year. It's going to be a lot of stuff happening this year. I hope I can stay up on it and give you a little warning and little humor into the whole thing. You got to have a sense of humor in these times, or you're kind of in trouble. Okay, we're going to talk about the last week in May and see what's going on. Interesting thing about this week, at least for me, is that Mars, towards the end of your next week in Gemini, is going by the USA Mars in the chart. The USA government chart, I should say. A little more on that as we go along. Let's take a look at the chart. What's going on? Well, the sun is just leaving Taurus. As you speak, the sun is on the 29th degree of Taurus. That's my rising sign. That's where the Pleiades is. I still haven't figured out why Benjamin Franklin, listed the rising and setting of the Pleiades in his almanac. Ben knew something about the Pleiades I don't. And evidently, everybody back in those times was interested in when the Pleiades rose and set. So, more mysterious knowledge lost in the sands of time, huh? Well, I'm not giving up. I'm still looking. I'll find out about it sooner or later. Anyway, the sun goes into Gemini. Here's the kicker. Here's Mars. Mars is going from 19 degrees to 26 Gemini. Now, as it goes by 22 degrees of Gemini, it hits the Mars-Neptune square in the USA government chart. Mars being the military, huh? And so I expect our military is going to bite. A lot of stuff biting these days. I'm back here on the 2nd of May. A policeman just shot a poor guy who was walking around with a loaded arrow weapon, a crossbow, and the policeman shot him several times and killed him just out of fear. The policeman evidently thought a crossbow was a real deadly weapon. This man was not threatening. Anyway, policeman, put down your weapons. Kind of silly when the U.S. is about to do the same thing. The policeman on the world scale, of course, is the U.S. military. The Department of Defense, the largest office building in the world. Yeah, more people working in that organization. I see it as a corporation now. I see it, it kind of pretty much does what it wants. That's clear from President Trump's recent statements. And, you just had a time when the military is running all around, sending ships here or there. Who are we going to fight with? And they're focusing on North Korea now. But I got to hand it to Trump. He says he's willing to go talk to the leader of North Korea. I think that's wonderful. Trump has an interesting way of handling adversaries. He makes him a friend. I mean, he may insult you like crazy and then invite you to lunch and turn out to be your friend. It's a very strange way of doing things, but when I look at his chart, I understand. And hopefully it's going to work. And he can diffuse a lot of our adversaries that way. Well, we've got a chart here. And we've still got action on Pluto. Yep, squaring Jupiter, overdoing the fear. Here's Venus. Girls are going to be in the way for a while. Well, let's look at it day by day. Let's see how it's going to go in your world, huh? Give you a little heads up on, so you can plan a little bit. So we're going to run the moon around the edge of this planetary pattern, and as it makes angles to different actors on the stage, reality changes and the vibes change, and we go day to day. Each day is different, huh? Wake up in the morning. What side of the bed did you get out of? So if you're in the Thursday show, the moon has gone into Pisces. And in the morning, it wasn't such a good day. The moon went by the south node. But Pisces moon, well, you're getting close to Neptune. Here Friday night, we got the moon going by Neptune. And Neptune can be very beautiful. Yeah, it's stained glass windows and cathedrals and Bach and Beethoven and Jesus. And there's some really wonderful sides to the Neptune planet. The age of Pisces for 2,000 years. I mean, we're in the age of Aquarius now. Yeah, no question. We're in the air. Everybody's looking at their little TV screens. We're not playing music. No, we're staring at small little video screens. Aquarius is here. Everybody's got a phone. Everybody's hooked up to the networks. Wow. Anyway, there's a lot of things you don't want to lose about the age of Pisces. The art, the music, the higher heart. Neptune's an enlightenment planet, like Uranus is. Neptune enlightens through feeling, and Uranus enlightens through mentality. So on Friday, the moon goes by Neptune. It's a Friday night, and after dinner, it's a time to listen to music, to read Jesus, and open up your heart to some compassion for the world, compassion for the homeless people, for the poor little homeless cats wandering around. I'm still feeding some homeless cats out near my house I inherited from Advocats. And now we're talking about rat lungworm disease, and people who don't like, they call them feral cats, but I know they're all homeless because they're friendly and they want a home. But they're out there, and they are your most important defense against rats. Plenty of homeless cats around. You're not going to see a lot of rats and mice, are you? No. Anyway, inspiration hits Friday night. Hope you have some really wild, enlightening, compassionate, interesting sorts of experiences. Go out and sit under a tree. Be with an animal. Animals feel these things. So this is just after dinner, and it could be kind of a delightful time. As you go through Friday into Saturday morning, here is a nice sextile to Pluto. Starts with you're feeling powerful. Yes, oh yeah. But look out, as soon as you feel powerful, here's a square to Mars. Everybody's angry, impatient. It's hot. Things are biting. So Saturday goes from being a powerhouse in the morning to being angriness. And by the time you get to Saturday afternoon, here's a square to Saturn. The moon squares Saturn, and ugh, we feel depressed, closed in. All those laws and regulations and rules and limits and fences everywhere. America is a land of fences. It's too bad. Saturday night, well, basically early Sunday morning, here's a nice sextile to the sun. And so you could feel like you've got your projects to do Sunday. Get up and go after it. It's a good idea. Give you something to do. This Sunday, the moon is shifted into Aries. And when it sextiles the sun in Aries, it's physical. Get out and do something. Use your muscles. Go out and clean something up. Go down to the park or the beach. Pick up some trash. Make Hawaii more beautiful. Protect the ocean. All that stuff. It'll wear off as you get through Sunday into the evening when there is an opposition to Jupiter, and you're on the T-square. Now, this is complicated. Look at this. Look at all this stuff in here. Starts with Sunday night when the moon opposes Jupiter, and people doing too much laughing. You know, I look at the news in Hawaii. Now there's 6 people lined up at desks giving you news and traffic every 10 minutes. And all they do is grin and cackle and laugh at everything. Laughing, smiling. Good heavens. Well, the moon's going to go by Venus in the morning. It's early Monday morning. Call it late Sunday night if you want, but I think all the laughing and the clowning around is going to get in the way of the love and the sex and the sweets and the rest. And I'd like to have some rest here, but all those people are laughing so loud. That's the story of Sunday night, Monday morning. By the time you get to just before lunch, around lunchtime, the moon squares Pluto, people get radical. And call the police. No, more better you do it yourself. The police won't arrive. The moon squares Pluto. They're doing something else. But there's a nice sextile to Mars here. So you got to fix this yourself. Get used to it. Truth is, government has never been the one that fixes problems. Whether it's the police or the health department. The fire department is the one exception. I tell people, if you have an emergency, call 911. Always ask for the fire department, no matter what. No matter what kind of problem you got, the fire department will get there quickly, you know, and they will keep things mellowed out. And the police won't shoot the guy, you know, with the crossbow if the firemen are all there. So the mistake is calling the police. Police show up, they panic, shoot, bang, bang. Call the fire department. Those are the real true Martians that'll really help and protect things. Hope you do it if you have a problem here Monday, first half of the day. Time you get to Monday night, well, moon's going to go by Uranus. We're going to feel very independent, very alert in the mind, maybe a little separated, but here's where the innovative solutions really work. Now this shows up in President Trump's chart very strongly, because he's a 29-degree Leo rising. And so here's Uranus at 27 Aries, trining Saturn at 27 Sag, right on Mr. Trump's chart. Use innovative methods, President Trump, and talk. Go sit down and talk with the president of North Korea. Yeah, I mean, he's sitting there chumming up nukes because everybody's afraid. We've been surrounding North Korea with guns and nukes and stuff for so long that they deserve a couple of nukes just so they know that we're not going to go invade them. That's what everybody's done in the world. If you look, we challenge Iran works and gets a couple nukes. Challenge anybody, you know, and they know they got to go buy a gun. You know, that's the equivalent of a nuke for a nation. They may not use the gun, but if they've got it, the USA military probably isn't going to attack them. What, that's the answer? Yep, it's the answer. China said, if we just take all the nukes out of the Korean peninsula, disarm South Korea, disarm North Korea, we'd be happy. We'd protect them all. China and the US could do that, and the poor Koreans wouldn't have to spend more decades fighting with each other. We set that up after the Korean War. Terrible stuff. Mr. Trump has a way of breaking through these barriers with common sense. Yes, he startles us all every now and then. Oh, I'd be happy to meet with the president of North Korea. I'd be honored to meet the young man. Great. Haley on, President Trump. Haley on. So Monday afternoon and evening is like that. The moon goes by Uranus. Innovation, practical innovation and common sense is the rule Monday night. Moon in late Aries. On Tuesday, the moon goes into Taurus. And you're in a Mercury zone. The moon hits Mercury here, just around the middle of the day before lunch. And talking, walking, moving, delivering words, communications. Your mind is kind of busy and feels pretty good. There's no big problems here. In fact, it becomes downright inspirational Tuesday night because here's the moon sextile Neptune. And we could write some poetry, could have some wonderful thoughts. Compassion flows again late Tuesday night. This is around 10, 11 o'clock. On Wednesday, the moon's still in Taurus, and there's a nice trine to Pluto, decisive investigations. Don't jump at it too far, though, because here's the old full moon. No sooner do we have the new investigations than we have that full moon, the place of the old full moon at 20 Taurus. Makes things a little wobbly and makes people a little unsure about all the information they got. The inspiration of Tuesday night, the decisive investigations of Wednesday morning, and then a period in the middle of the day when we're not sure about anything here due to that old full moon. Wednesday completes the matter of the moon going through Taurus. And on Thursday, we've got the moon in Gemini, and we have another new moon at 5 Gemini. Happens here just before lunch. Kind of a good new moon. It's not making bad angles to anything. So it's a good time to make plans. Be together with the people you love and trust. And it's in Gemini. So lots of things can be done here about moving stuff, communicating, letters, all sorts of word kinds of things can be done. I'm working on some heavy-duty reports and papers myself, waiting for Mercury to go direct here tomorrow for me. I'm on the 2nd of May. Yeah, I do these shows, 2-3 weeks early because it takes time to get them to the station, for them to load it up and to prepare. I wish this were live. I'd like to do live work, but it's not possible here. Sorry. Anyway, new moon happens, and here is a nice trine to Jupiter. Happens Thursday afternoon. Aha! Wise men. Yes. Now we see it clear. So this is a pretty good new moon. And a rough trine to Jupiter. See how your Thursday goes. Hope you get some clarity. On Friday, the moon's still in Gemini, and here is a nice sextile to Venus. Friday morning. Now, Friday is Venus's day. Yes, Freya in the north, Vendredi in the French. Venus, she's sweet. But, it's a fleeting period of sex and sweets Friday morning and love, because no sooner does she go by the sextile to Venus, and here's the opposition to Saturn. Oh, chills, cold, rules, regulations, hard-hearted stuff. And we're coming into the zone of Mars. This is tough because Saturn is there. Mars is here. By this time, Mars is pretty much on that USA, Mars-Neptune square, the USA government. And we could be seeing a lot of military stuff and some worrisome things here on Friday. There is a nice sextile to Uranus after dinner and on Friday, and maybe the common sense will kick in. Maybe everybody's going to rattle their war drums here on Friday, and maybe Mr. Trump is going to come in with some common sense and say, hey, wait a minute. Everybody's all upset because he said, the Civil War really didn't have to happen. They could have negotiated their way out of it. Probably the most expensive war we ever had was the Civil War. And you've been fed a whole bunch of lies about why it happened. Abraham Lincoln is your hero. I'm not so sure. Trump likes Andrew Jackson. But I don't know. At least he's taking a different view. And we really need that these days, folks. Yeah, 90% of the stuff I learned in school was wrong. I spent a long time in my life unlearning what I learned in school, getting rid of those things, especially the history. Well, anyway, Friday, you get angry, ask yourself what you're protecting. The moon's going by Mars. Everybody gets hot. Everybody starts to bite. Everybody gets impatient. It's because we don't know what we're protecting. What are you protecting? The North Koreans know what they're protecting. We got all those troops in South Korea. We've surrounded them. You know, even Russia knows it. Surrounded by military bases. We got 100 military bases out there in 100 countries or something. And troops around the world. The Department of Defense. The largest organization, corporation, you know, probably in the world. Yes, that's Mars. You mean heroes, war fighters? Change the words. These aren't soldiers trained to kill other people. They're war fighters. They're over there in all these foreign places protecting us and our country and our freedom. Oh, are they? You know propaganda from the truth? It's a hard thing these days. But you got a good chance at seeing through all this stuff. I mean, that picture I showed you when I started this show, you can see through it all. Yep. On Saturday, the moon's in Cancer, and you're going towards a nice sextile to Neptune Saturday night. Inspiration. There's Mercury here. People will sing. They'll talk about their religion, art, music, talk about compassion. Unfortunately, you're in the zone of the T-square again, and there's too much laughing and square to Jupiter late Saturday night. This is like 10, 11 o'clock. And on Sunday, eek, a bug. Here's opposition to Pluto, and Venus is right there getting in trouble. Pretty girls, don't carry a crossbow. Look out, the policeman is scared. You know, things are going to happen. You're going to feel, you know, like giving up Saturday or Sunday afternoon when the moon squares Venus. And then you'll feel kind of isolated late Sunday night when the moon squares Uranus. So Saturday night through Sunday, weird things happen. Be safe. That's what it's really about. Cut wood, haul water. Here's my letter to the editor about the Kauai devastation from somebody who wants to put 300 timeshare units there. The weird thing is, they left one word out. The word was eat. So, this is all about underground termicides. They're going to put them above the most beautiful snorkeling spot in the islands, Kauai Beach Park. Wonderful, wonderful water. But what happens is they'll put them all around these cheap houses. They'll come down through the little holes. You know, they call it legacy pollution. And you cannot eat. They left out the word eat. And you cannot anything from fresh water due to Aldrin and Deldrin on Oahu, where they put all that stuff in the ground to keep termites from eating cheap buildings. What's going on here? Are they going to do this again? My God, what a horror. As Mercury went by Uranus, I expected E.T. to speak up. What we got was clear turbulence. Lots of people injured on airplanes suddenly from clear turbulence. They couldn't see it coming. A whole lot of tornadoes on the mainland, weird twirly weather all over the world, and no ETs. So a viewer sent me this one. I think it's quite funny and it tells the truth kind of sharply. "1962, Rachel Carson wrote Silent Spring. This is the one book I took with me when I decided to drop out. And I did. I'm an old Woodstock warrior, you know. When I tuned in and I saw what was going on, I quit my job at Dow Chemical, took this one copy of Silent Spring, and went to Hawaii to try to find a peaceful, organic place. It didn't work out that way. But I sold everything, took my 3 young sons and wife, went to Kauai, tried to find some place that was not polluted. I had no idea how bad it all was, though. I had experience. Here I am, 76. I've been through DDT, heptachlor. Remember, pineapple tops got in baby's milk on Oahu, spread heptachlor all through. Myrex was another one. I've seen all these experts do all these things to try to sell us the pesticides, and then we all got polluted. It went on and on and on. But in those days, I just knew about pesticides. I had no idea how bad it was. Global warming is like pesticides on steroids. It's incredible what a bummer it is. You know, I just having trouble wrapping my mind around the ultimate pollution. The ultimate. This is a Costco Apple. Somebody gave me this 2 weeks ago. You know what? It doesn't spoil. I got it here because I wanted to show you. This is the Earth. The atmosphere is the skin. It's really thin. People don't realize. They're looking up. They think the atmosphere, the air is all thick. No, it's not. It's not thick. It's very thin. And we're messing it up pretty good. How come? Well, I went through my long experience with this, environmental health, and I call it the 007 complex. What's that? Well, the government gave 007 the right to kill. What? The government appointed people at the DOD, the EPA, the FDA, Planning Board, the County Council, all these guys passing out permits to pollute. Yes, you get a government license to kill and pollute. And they're never punished. The people who give out these permits, you know, they never get punished. Neither the ones who get the permits. They never get punished for the ill health and the poor earth damage that they inflict on all of us. I won't eat this apple. This apple is polluted.